We are group number 6 and our case study was case study 4.2, New Balance out of step. Before we start with the questions, I just wanted to give a quick overview over the case. The situation is that we have a company called New Balance, and it's a corporation selling men's and women's athletic shoes and sports apparel. They are based in Massachusetts but operate about 120 stores worldwide. In North America, they have about 157 licensed stores as well as 140 independently owned and operated stores. One of their main competitors is, for example, Nike, and the difference between them is that New Balance does not want to use any celebrity endorsement for promotion, because they focus mainly on technology and innovation in their products, and they are very successful with that. Because in 2011, 2 of the products were named as best fitness buys by 2 very popular sports magazines. This year they expect about 15% growth, and one important company goal is to demonstrate a dedication to Made in America products. Recently they opened 2 experience stores, so-called experience stores, in New York City and the other one in Washington, D.C., and they already have experience stores in overseas, like for example Hong Kong. Their shoe produced in New York City is a total sellout. It's very popular, but their store in Delta, Massachusetts is showing a slowdown in sales. And now we go on with question number 1.
For the customer design for the CDP model is the important of the marketing design, and the CDP is the stage of the customer goes through before, during, and the ending of the buying something. The first stage of the CDP need to recognition. The buyer need to understand what their problem or need in between. For the first stage and for the desired, the motivation state. For me, for example, like if I want to buy a pair of the New Balance shoes, first I need to think I need to have these shoes, and I can pay off the shoes, and I like the brand for the choosing the shoes. For the second stage of the CDP is the information research. Information research, they have the 2 parts of the source of information. The first is the internal, that is the memory, and the information may be based on a person past experience, the past conversation, or the article they read before. And the second is the actional source of the information. That includes friends, family, salesperson, advertisement, website, and some article maybe. For example, like I got a pair of the New Balance shoes. I got the information about New Balance is from my 2 of the roommates. Both of them love New Balance, and they told me it's really comfortable and convenient and it's cheap, something like that. So one day I just I think I also need to buy a New Balance. So for me, I think for most of the times, the actual information is more important for me. The second question, sorry.
For the second question, it is, what is the consumer's motivation for wanting to have the customized pair of the 875 New Balance shoes? First of all, it's obviously custom made. The consumer can go and pick their style, their fit, the design that they want on the shoe. They can go and pick like how soft it is, the difference between how fast you can run the sole of the shoe, how comfortable it is. They can even add that support, additional support you can get in shoes. This leading to have also a sentimental value of the consumer getting the shopping experience of it, and it's also a reasonable time of customizing the shoe. It's within 1 hour, and if you got a customized shoe like from Nike.com, you would have to go online. You couldn't really get the in-person experience with it, and you couldn't get it within 1 hour. You would have to wait a week of time. The next question is, should New Balance consider a specialty sneaker for the Boston market? And if so, what do you envision? Well, we kind of envision what the New York shoe had it done, the custom made shoe that they could experience, bring that into Boston, because it's not, there's a lot of retail areas in one area, so that would be a competitive advantage over in the Boston area. And also making special sneakers directed to families and children's. The children would want to go and make the customized shoe that would be the new in, and then the parents would be willing to go pay that price for their children because it's their children and they want to make sure they have comfortable shoes. The fourth question.
The fourth question of the case study was, is the effect of New Balance brand, or what is the effect of New Balance brand on the consumer's judgment to buy or not to buy? New Balance, for one, makes a very great shoe. It's very functional, and they do it at a great price. All their shoes are very affordable. They are competitively priced, and they also have those lower shelf shoes that are still very comfortable, very functional, and can also be bought at a great price. The second thing is fashion. All their shoes look great. They did a very good job of keeping with the times, keeping with the technology to continue a trend, whether it's a running shoe or a performance sports shoe or even baseball, golf, or various other sports. Also, all of their shoes are very comfortable. They pride themselves on making a very comfortable shoe, and that's why you see a lot of athletes nowadays, even though they're not promoting them themselves, they're still wearing that brand because it's best for them. And for the fifth question,
Okay, our fifth question was to discuss the atmospherics of the two stores mentioned in the case study. The first store was in the Flatiron District in New York City, and the other one in Legacy Place, Dedham, Massachusetts. I start with the Flatiron District in New York. It's a 4,000 square foot big store, and it's really new. It was opened in August 2011. And the Flatiron District is a very good neighborhood, a modern one. It has a lot of good restaurants and a lot of other good shopping stores around them, like Victoria's Secret, for example. The store itself, they describe that they have a running track, and they say that their customers have an over-the-top shopping experience. And the new thing is that it's very different. It's really an experience store, and there are several glass booths in the store where you can watch the shoemaker making your shoe. You can see it you can watch it for 1 hour, really, from the first step on how your shoe is done, and that gives a feeling of having the customized shoe. It's very unique. You buy a unique shoe, and it's something new. You can learn something about it. You know who did it. You know how they did it, and it also shows the dedication of the company that they want to stick to Made in America products, because it's really made in America. You could see it, and that's really the new thing. It's an overall experience they will have. Whereas in Legacy Place, Dedham, Massachusetts, where the sales are going down, Dedham is a suburb located south of Boston. The demographics are mainly families with a median age of adults about 39, an average income of $80,000, which is higher than the national average. And this store is located in a whole big retail center, what is different to the one in the Flatiron District. And this open air retail center was built in 2009, so it's also really new. But the thing is that New Balance main competitors are directly next to the New Balance store. So it's very difficult to face the competition with over 60 other retail shops, as well as restaurants, a movie theater, and a bowling alley. And it's mainly a place where families just go before they, for example, go to the bowling alley. They just want to grab a pair of sneakers because they don't want to rent one at the bowling alley. And there's no experience they have. It's just a simple store where you go in and you grab your pair of shoes and then you go out. So that's it, there's nothing special about it. Yeah, and here you can see like a photo of the store in the Flatiron district, where you can see the glass booth where they make the shoes. They show you how they do it, and you can also choose, like, for example, the colors of your shoe, like how your shoe should look like, and that's very new and very innovative. And here's the store in daytime in the open air retail center, where you have a competitors direct next to you. Well, the sixth question was to think about 3 stores that sell running shoes and to describe how the atmospherics differ across these stores and why those differences exist. Well, to begin with, why the differences exist is that studies found out that certain environmental factors will affect the shopping habits of consumers. For example, the smell in the store, the lighting, also the music that's playing in the background, colors, how crowded it is, how safe they feel in the store, and also how well they are treated by the employees. And atmospherics are defined as a physical manipulation of the environment to change the mood of the customer. So marketeers try to change the mood of the customer when they create a big store, for example, with a good lighting, nice background music, and nice colors, so that the customer is more likely to buy at their store than in any other store. And I can think of like 2 stores where I've been. One was a Nike store, so where you normally buy more expensive shoes. It was a big store. They had a good lighting, so you could see everything they had. The aisles were well arranged. Even the clearance section was very well arranged. So you really had a good overview. The music playing in the background was not too loud, so you could still have a good conversation. And it was the most recent music, like from the charts. So I guess they wanted to attract young customers, to get the attention of young people. They had big mirrors where you could see if the shoe you chose looks good on you. And they had also friendly employees that welcomed you at the entrance, said what they have in stock, and they really helped you choosing the right shoe for you. And that gave me a feeling of having an overall support, that they know what they are talking about, and that I really can find the perfect fitting running shoe for me, because that's important, because it's like Nike shoes are very kind of expensive, and if I pay over $100 for a running shoe, I really want to make sure that it's the perfect one. And in this store, yeah, they gave me the feeling that this is a store where I can really find the perfect fitting shoe. And there was another store which sells cheaper shoes, and the store was really small and really crowded, and the aisles were not well arranged. It was very chaotic. Sometimes I could just find the right shoe but not the left one to it. And it was sometimes hard to try shoes on, because every time we were in someone else's way, it was kind of annoying. The music was too loud, and the employees they were friendly, but I had the feeling that they don't really know what they're talking about. But that was okay, because I knew that the shoes they sell there, they are not of a high quality, so I didn't expect that much. And yeah, that's also why the differences in atmosphere exist. The atmosphere in the cheaper store was mainly for people who don't have that much money and they just want to buy a pair of shoes. But also, if you don't have a lot of time and you really need a pair of running shoes, you just go in, grab one, and you go out. You don't expect a high quality. So that's also why differences in the atmosphere exist. Well, all in all, that's our presentation.